So what if I told you that the most trusted rules of investing are now completely obsolete? And what if I told you that a single announcement, one that almost everyone missed, quietly broke the entire stock market? Well, in the next 5 minutes, we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to give you a whole new playbook. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you a question, straight up. Is your portfolio built for the past? Because all those strategies, like set it and forget it, the advice we were all told was the safest bet. Well, that might actually be setting you up for a massive failure. We're about to see why clinging to the old way just isn't an option anymore.
Okay, first things first. We got to understand why the old investing rulebook is totally broken. We are talking about the most common, most recommended strategy on the entire planet and how it's become a hidden trap for millions of people who have no idea what's coming.
Check this out. This is the illusion of safety that so many of us fall for. You buy an S&P 500 fund and you think your money is spread out nice and safe across 500 companies, right? Wrong. Not anymore. Today, over 30% of the entire index's value is packed into just 7 huge tech stocks. That isn't diversification, it's a massive concentrated bet on just a handful of companies.
And here's what that really means. If those few companies stumble, they don't just fall, they pull the entire market down with them. Your supposedly safe portfolio is basically riding on the fate of a few corporate giants, and we literally just saw what happens when one of them starts to crack.
Right? So that heavy concentration creates this huge single point of failure. And now let's look at the real-world event that just proved it. This wasn't some expert forecast. This was a shockwave that ripped through the market and showed everyone just how fragile this whole system has become.
It all happened on January 20th. A relatively unknown Chinese AI startup called DeepSeek released a new model that actually outperformed the big US giants. But here's the shocking part. They built it for a tiny fraction of the cost. This proved that you don't need billions of dollars to win the AI race, and that realization sent a massive wave of uncertainty crashing through the markets.
The fallout was insane, and it was immediate. Just a few days later, NVIDIA, the absolute king of the AI boom, lost $593 billion in market value in a single day. It was one of the biggest losses in financial history, and it was basically the sound of the old investment rulebook being torn to shreds.
So, if the old system is broken, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Well, we pivot from the problem to the solution. This is the new playbook, a clear, actionable 3-pillar framework that's actually designed for the new economic reality we're living in. Instead of just buying those broad, passive indexes, the new playbook is all about focus. It's a 3-pillar portfolio designed to capture growth where it's actually happening. Okay, pillar number 1 is sovereign money. The best example here is Bitcoin. Think of it as a store of value that exists completely outside of the fragile traditional financial system. In a world full of uncertainty, this is your anchor. Pillar 2 is exponential tech. Now listen up, because here's the crucial twist for 2025 and beyond. This is not about buying the same old big tech index. The real opportunity is in the smaller, hyper-efficient players. We're talking open-source AI models and the infrastructure that supports them. These are the companies delivering massive value without the massive price tag. And finally, Pillar 3 grounds the whole thing in reality, real-world fuel. All this incredible AI technology, well, it's hungry. It consumes a staggering amount of energy. This is creating an unprecedented demand for power, which points to a huge future for things like nuclear energy, copper for wiring, and all the other key commodities that actually build and power our physical world.
All right, so knowing this stuff is great, but action is what really creates transformation. Let's get into your first move. We've got a concrete tip and a simple challenge to help you start building your future-proof portfolio today.
So here is the most important takeaway. Stop using a shotgun and start using a sniper rifle. Instead of just spraying your money across a broad, outdated index, your job now is to identify a few key assets within those 3 pillars. And please avoid the biggest pitfall of all, assuming the winners of the last 10 years will automatically lead the next 10. The game has totally changed.
And now, here is your challenge for this week. It is super simple. Just learn. I want you to research one potential asset from each of those 3 pillars. Don't buy anything. Just explore. Ask some questions like, which company is building the next generation of AI infrastructure? Or what's the real demand outlook for copper? Then head down to the comments and share the single most surprising thing you discovered. Let's learn from each other.
And that is your 5-minute transformation. If you're ready to stop playing by the old, broken rules, make sure you subscribe to MoneyTree for more guides to help you build for the future. Of course, full credit for today's insights goes to the original source, which is linked in the description below. I'll leave you with one final question. Is your portfolio built for the world we live in now, or for a world that no longer exists? See you next week.